We start by saying,
What's going on?
okay,
Hey, how are you, buddy?
imagine there's a huge building.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I
How's
hear
it
you.
going, man?
Good.
I don't know that we've met before, Craig. I'm David Pereira. How are you?
David, no, I don't recall. Yeah, glad to. I just jumped on.
Awesome,
Just
man.
got the note. What's your help specialty?
So I'm the director of sales here at Marketing Funnel Automation, but I also assist in the marketing department, the agency side, creating messaging for clients, big idea creation, stuff like that. So kind of, heading up the agency, but running the sales, running point on sales. So I guess my specialty is more on the sales end, and really have a strong sales background, but I've now kind of ventured into, some of the messaging piece of it and understanding, just what gets people to take action through the sales argumentation psychology and that type of stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about today about the unique mechanism and why it's so powerful, and then go from there.
Cool.
What's going on, Robert? How are you, buddy? Can you hear me, Robert? I don't know if you can hear us. He's deep in thought.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me okay, Robert?
Yes, how are you?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Excellent.
Did you get a haircut?
I guess, yeah. I was wearing a hat like you, but now how's Craig doing?
What's that?
How is Craig doing?
Craig. Robert's asking about you.
Robert.
Good.
Hey, Robert. Rocking and rolling here.
We're just going to wait a couple moments for a few more people, and then we're going to get it moving here. I'm going to learn a little bit about what does that shirt say?
T-Rex can't flex. I want to be a paleontologist when I grow up. And talking about haircuts, I got a haircut.
Wow, man.
The hot scoop.
He's on top of it, this guy, huh? You want to be a paleontologist, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Very awesome.
Okay, go. Go. Okay, go do your work, okay?
Okay.
So you're big kahuna now these days, David?
I don't know about that, man. I want to be a little kahuna. That's what I want to be. But, just things are moving. I'm actually in New Jersey right now. I had to fly up to New Jersey for a couple of things. New Jersey originally is my home, but I live in Florida now. So
Yes.
but I'm in Jersey right now just for some stuff. I have a townhome up here, and I'm getting ready to sell it. So so I had to fly in. Where are you? So Craig, where are you at? I know where where Robert's from. Where are you at?
Seattle.
Cali? Yeah.
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Okay. Gotcha. Are you a Seahawks fan? Not a football fan.
No, I love the Minnesota Vikings, actually.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Yeah, Seahawks are cool. I don't mind them. They're good people. I like good sports. I'm in the sports world. I don't know if you know what I do.
We're going to find out here in a moment. So yeah, we'll find out. But we're just going to wait for a call. I know a couple people have messaged me for the link. So we're just going to wait.
Is the coaching program still going on?
Yeah, the partnership coaching program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I spoke to Todd at one point because sometimes, those Tuesdays sometimes do not work for me as well as I would wish. And he said, well, why don't you take advantage of the coaching program if you have any questions? I said, great. So I even sent you an email, because he asked me to ask you to get the access because you're in charge of that supposedly. Are you? Or no?
I can be. Did you send me the email?
A while back. But then all March I was a little bit preoccupied with all kinds of nonsense, and so. But anyway, so maybe later on we can maybe you can help me out to
Yeah.
involved in that more. So
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, what we can do is, because Teddy's teaching the class now. So you guys met Teddy already? You know Teddy?
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Well,
So Teddy's teaching the class. So yeah, you could probably hop into, and if this time doesn't work for you, then you can hop in the PCP coaching class, and that should be a good fit. So we're 5 after here. We're going to get rocking and rolling. As I mentioned, I am remote, so this is not my normal background that you're going to see. But we're going to talk a little bit tonight about a client that we're dealing with in our agency and why the unique mechanism is so unbelievably important. I was telling Craig before you hopped on, Robert. He had asked kind of what my background is and what it is that I kind of offer. And coming from a sales background, it's always interesting to me, especially when I first learned of Todd and marketing funnel automation, how we can take a person and convert that person who we just introduced ourselves to in order to buying something down the road. It's funny because when I came home and my mom had asked me, so I just want to understand, can you help me understand what it is that you do? I don't understand, like, what, can you explain it to me a little bit? My mom's into watercolor, like into painting. And I said, well, you had told me before, Mom, that you go on YouTube and, you watch people, how they paint and stuff like that. Did you ever see how that kind of then lends itself to become an offer to become, a watercolor? And she said, absolutely, I have. And in fact, I bought a course, to paint watercolor. So I said, so what happens was you actually went through a sales funnel. You went through a marketing funnel that the argumentation caused you to believe that there's something in this course that's going to assist me in the process of becoming a better painter. And what we find is often that marketers, they do, I think, a lot of things. They leave out a lot of steps. But one of the most important steps is, in fact, the unique mechanism. This is something that Todd pounded into me when I first started here at MFA, was making sure that we have a rock solid unique mechanism when we go into any type of sales argumentation and presentation. And that's part of, Robert, you were at MFA Live in October when I talked about, had I known some of the things back in my other company that I know now, things certainly would have been different, just because of the fact that, we weren't able to be successful because we had the same level of sophistication for what we were doing for so many years. I mean, year in and year out, we had the exact same script, and we didn't have a unique mechanism. So this client that we're working with in the agency, in our agency, he and I had spent some time talking about and finding out and identifying what his unique mechanism is. So he provides protein bars. So him and his wife have developed a protein bar. They saw an opportunity that there were no protein bars that offered some of the things that they thought the protein bar should offer. So I asked him specifically what that was, and he actually put a chart together for me and showed me what all the different protein bars offer. And if you look at this graph, this chart, there's not one protein bar that offers something that no other protein bars offer. In fact, his protein bar, in several categories met the same requirements as some of the other protein bars. So we were trying to really zero in on what it was that made his product and made his protein bar different. Now, in one of my Joe Sugarman books, it talks about how he was trying to identify and understand this process of creating a watch, and he went to the watch manufacturer, and he was just digging deeper, trying to understand, in fact, what it was that he could use in order to leverage this unique mechanism. And it turned out that there was one piece inside of the watch that was only being now able to be made because of the advent of lasers. So that was his aha moment, and he said, okay, now this watch is going to be the world's first laser manufactured watch, right, at the time anyway. So with the protein bar, once I started digging deeper and really understanding exactly what it was that this guy did in order to create and craft protein bars, it got a little bit clearer to me, because he had said at one point to me, everybody else offers a protein bar that first of all, the weight of it after you eat it, you don't feel satisfied. You don't feel as if you actually ate anything. So that's the first thing. So I said, what did you do to rectify that problem? He said, well, we made it a little bit bigger. Well, it's still not something unique enough. Well, here's what he did do. So what happened was this guy, or I should say anybody, when they make a protein bar, they take all the ingredients, they put it into a big blender, it blends it up, they lay it on a sheet. I don't know if they cook it or whatever, then they press it, and then they cut it up. He said, however, at that point, we realized that once you put the nuts in the bar, by the time you go to eat it, the nuts are all crushed up. So what we did was, and it costs us a lot extra to do this, we actually asked them to take the nuts and we asked them to put them on top of the protein bar after all the other ingredients were made. So now you have a true protein bar and you have whole nuts on top of this protein bar, whole almonds, whole whatever it is. And that was the aha moment, because he's the only person that is actually offering this protein bar that will leave you satisfied, but they intentionally pay extra to have somebody by hand take these nuts and throw it on top of the protein bar so that they feel satisfied and they feel as if they're eating something substantial. So when it comes to looking for and crafting the unique mechanism, I know Mike deals with agency clients, and Craig, I'm going to learn about your business in a little bit, as well as Peggy and Jeff. But when it comes to crafting your unique mechanism, a lot of times we have to dig a little bit deeper, but sometimes it's just right there, right in front of our face, what the unique mechanism is. But the reason why the unique mechanism is so important is because it gives the prospect hope that things are going to be different this time. So when we started to talk about the unique mechanism for his protein bar, we had thrown some ideas against the wall, and really what it looks like is nothing. There's no real kind of like systematic type of formula in order to arrive at the unique mechanism. It's just a whiteboard. You start whiteboarding all the different ideas and really seeing what works best. But we went in the direction, and because one of the things that he had mentioned was that his protein bar, once you eat it, if you have a box of 10 of them, every one is going to be materially different, from the next. So it's going to be a handcrafted, we're going to call it the ugly protein bar, because you could have, 10 nuts on one and 8 on the other, so there's some things that we're playing with right now in order to name that unique mechanism, just to be a little bit, clearer on what that is. But just again, wanted to give the idea and understanding as to why the unique mechanism is so important. Because now when you see all the protein bars lined up at the store, and you have the one protein bar that has, for example, the only protein bar that has the handmade characteristics that this protein bar has, this handmade unique protein bar that everyone is different is going to be something that stands out off the shelves. It's not just going to be a pretty wrapper or whatever the case is. It's going to have something about it that's going to make things different for the prospect. So I don't know how often you guys in the Mentor 2 Million program have talked about the unique mechanism before, but I just really want to kind of drive home how effective it's been for our clients, for us as well, obviously. When we have our strategy sessions and we talk to folks about getting on a call for a strategy session and talking to myself or one of the sales guys, you'll notice in that video, if you recall, that Todd says that we use a process called assist. That is doing the heavy lifting, the job of being a unique mechanism. It causes you to say, wait a second, what is this assist process? I want to learn a little bit more about assist, because I don't know about this process. Why is that making things different? Why are things better because of assist? So having said that, I'd like to, Craig, you were on first. I'd like to learn a little bit about your business, talk to you guys about what it is that you're doing. If you have questions, or, it doesn't have to be on the unique mechanism. It could be on, messaging, sales argumentation, psychology, whatever it is that you need some assistance on. Could even be, I've assisted clients, with just overall general strategy of their marketing as well, and seeing what makes sense, from a front end, back end perspective even. So Craig, tell me a little bit about your business and what it is that you do, man.
I'm what you call a mental toughness trainer.
That's
so
awesome.
I help primarily athletes, but others as well, get over their mental blocks and achieve their best performance. Mostly people come to me for performance anxiety, lack of confidence, and or just actually blocked on being able to move forward to the next level.
I think Jordan Spieth could have used you over the weekend.
You know, the guy's loaded with mental toughness. He just made an error in strategy, and he talked about that at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of sticking with the game plan, they just kind of went with their gut, and often that's an error. Yep.
Yeah, totally. So, so talk to me about your ideal avatar. What does that look like? What is it? A sports person, somebody who's trying to break through a plateau? What does that look like?
Well, yes, but I've broken this down. I learned about a year ago when I first joined this program by doing some advertising that I have 4 demographics. I got youth athletes, I've got adult athletes, and I got parents, and I got coaches. So they come to me and they all have different wants, needs, and I've been building this funnel to be able to deal with whoever I get, because mental toughness is just kind of wide, and people are coming for different reasons. I actually have another one that I'm not doing anything with, which is people who are not in sports at all and just interested in personal mental toughness. Anyway, I use Infusionsoft. I use the Ryan Levesque Ask method. So when they come in, I question them, I tag them, and I put them through their own funnel, or their own track,
Got it.
who they say they are. And
Are you using like dynamic VSL, dialogue, or what are you using in order to get them to make that decision to break that part up?
break what part up?
So I come in and I'm a parent, right? And I see the front end of your opt-in. How do you decide that I'm a parent and push me in that direction?
So if you go to sportsmentaltoughness.com, it's my main place, and you take a quiz and you tell me who I am, and you're tagged.
Yep.
And you go through the sequence of the campaign that's appropriate to what you answered through the quiz.
Is that so? That's not immediate though, correct?
Yeah, it's immediate.
It is immediate. Okay, good.
But so I've been building products and funnels for each of my demographics. There's not much for the actual kids. They don't pull out their credit cards, but they're there, and I take care of them a little bit. But basically, lately, I've been really targeting the parents, and I hired an ad guy to do Facebook for me, and we are getting less than $1 an opt-in. Fantastic using lead ads. So my biggest struggle right now is converting them. And this is baffling me no end, because I started this whole business targeting sports parents, and my first and most successful product is for sports parents, for their kids. And I've got a historical 4% plus conversion on that sales page for that product. And when I first started this Facebook campaign, Todd advises that we all start off with our most expensive product first, and then we downsell if it doesn't work. So I have a $500 version of that same thing for for the parents. It's actually for the kids, but it's the parents who buy.
Okay.
Anyway, so I built this whole campaign for the $500 deal because I had tested it to my own list, and it did well to my own list. Nothing for a month. I didn't get one sale to, 500-600 Facebook, nothing. So the last couple of weeks, the last time I talked to Todd, he says he checked with me. Normally he doesn't like doing this, but he asked me all these questions, and so we're flipping it to offering the $100 product first, which has a proven success track record over like 4 years.
Yep.
And so I spent the last week and a half here doing that flip, now introducing them to the $100. Maybe I'll upsell them to the $500. I still can't get them to buy. So I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know if it's because lead ads do you know about lead ads in Facebook?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if that's the problem, or I'm missing something, or what. That's my big struggle.
Yeah. So can we take a look at where the folks are being driven to? So I opt in on your lead ad, right? So where do I go after that? Am I going right to sportsmentaltoughness.com?
So they're going to get a lead ad that promises them the 5 hacks to build confidence in your kid.
Right. Okay.
and that they give me their email, right? You know, they click the button and it gives for everybody else, gives me their email. They're in my Infusionsoft. They are a lead in my Infusionsoft. Immediately they get Video1, which is hack number 1, immediately.
Okay.
And then I give them an email that says, welcome. I introduce myself. And I do a light, hey, if you want to go to the front of the pack, you know, here's my Mental Toughness Academy, blah, 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 all that stuff. Hack number 2 is coming tomorrow. It does. I got an email every day for like 28 days.
Okay.
And then day number 2, they get email hacks 2 and 3 in a video. And I ramp up the hey, you need to buy my Mental Toughness Academy and my Fearless Competitor. I tell stories. I send them back to my website. Website's got side banners for the. So the other thing I learned for these parents, there's parents of younger kids and there's parents of teenagers, and I'm trying to segment those out too, but I still got some work to do. And I have a different product for each of those, about the same price.
Got it.
Because the product for the 10-year-olds is not appropriate for the 17-year-olds.
Yep.
I mean, nobody's gone to this level of segmenting in my market, not even close.
Sure.
So if I can make this right, I mean, nobody will be able to follow me.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Why did you make the decision to drip out those hacks and try and like kind of sell all along the way as you're dripping out those hacks?
Oh, well, that's what I had done in the past, and it worked. And for lack of a better strategy, since talking to Todd to flip it over, and that was my next call to him. What should I do differently, Todd?
Right. Yeah. So, I'd like to take a look at it, but just right off the bat, from what you're telling me, it sounds to me as if I now get these 5 hacks, and you're immediately telling me that I can jump to the line and this is going to be a sales pitch. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, but I've long since learned I'm really subtle in the beginning, very subtle.
Okay.
Anybody who really wants, I mean, it's like a PS on the first one. And then as they stay longer with me, then I'm going to be more I'm going to be more blatant about it.
Right. Right.
So it's very subtle in the beginning. I know Facebook people are not ready to just buy an interruption marketing on good content. So I'm aware of that.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that, because if you were to look at like the 6-figure funnel formula 4-part masterclass, for example, right? You don't at any point, especially in the first 3 videos, feel as if in any way, shape, or form this is a sales pitch. You feel as if that I'm getting this educational-based marketing that is educating me, and I don't feel as if there's going to be at any point something coming where somebody's going to ask me to buy. That's the impression that you get from those that first series of videos. So when the prospect, and well, let me just take a step back. The reason why we're doing that, and the reason why Todd does that, is because we know that there's a certain amount of beliefs that need to be established in order to get the prospect to make a buying decision.
Totally understand that.
Yeah, so when we go and we ask somebody or tell them that there's a buying decision to be made before those beliefs are established, it may be a little bit premature in asking them or telling them that there's going to be either an opportunity to buy something, or there may be a sales pitch coming up, right? Because now the red flags go off, the radar goes off. I'd like to see what the drop-off is in open rate from email 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3, and understand those metrics a little bit. I don't know if you have that data. Yeah, that would be really interesting to look at, just to see, if you could get some analytics put on that. I guarantee what you're going to find is from video 1 to video 2 is an exponential drop-off, from video 1 to video 2, because I'm already understanding this is going to be a sales pitch. That would be my guess anyway. So my point, though, is that when we're laying out the sales argument, and the way that Todd teaches is so brilliant, because as we're laying out these pieces of educational-based marketing, we're actually implanting beliefs into the prospect, because that's what they're going to need to believe in order to make a buying decision. Yes, I believe that mental toughness is essential. Yes, I also believe that that something like that before the dawn of man, that it was, either kill or be killed, and you had to have this mental toughness. Yes, I believe that, in order to be successful, it's an important quality. Once these beliefs are established, then we start talking about, and here's, let me now finally reveal to you the mental toughness system, right? So I don't at any point believe that this is going to be a sales pitch or it doesn't feel salesy. It doesn't smell salesy. There's nothing about it that tells me that this is a sales pitch. You're promising me, 5 hacks. I want the 5 hacks. I want to understand the 5 hacks. And it's funny because when I was talking, I mentioned earlier that I talked to my mom, and explaining to her what it was that I did. And she said, what I can't stand about folks that do what you guys do is that when somebody says that I promise you the 5 steps how to do da-da-da-da-da-da, I click on that and I never find out what those 5 steps are. And that happens all too often. And I think that mentally what happens is the prospect says, you're going to give me 5 hacks. I want my 5 hacks, right? And now it's, oh, by the way, you got to wait until tomorrow to get hack number 2. And I already know that there's a sales pitch coming. You're going to see, in my opinion, again, we'd have to look at the data to support that, but I think that there's an exponential difference from email 1 to email 2. I think that's what we would find.
All right, well, I'll definitely explore that. Infusionsoft's not set up for open rates in your campaigns. There's a lot of work to be done to make that happen. So I'm exploring that right now because I had that thought too. Yeah,
that data is going, so anytime that we want to identify a constraint in the funnel, we definitely need data at each piece of every step of the way. So we can say from step 3 to 4, we see that there's a huge decline. We know the constraint is getting them from step 3 to step 4. We're gonna focus on that step. If we don't have data behind that, we just don't know. We're just guessing at that point.
Okay. Cool.
But just from hearing what you're telling me, that's what it sounds like, is that the beliefs aren't there in order, like we haven't earned the right yet to ask them to buy something. We need to first earn that right.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, so cool. What's your unique mechanism?
It's called the RACE formula.
The RACE formula.
RACE, and I use a Indy 500 Formula 1 race car driver metaphor, and
awesome, man.
Relentless. A is awareness, C is clear the junks, E is emotional mastery leading to fearless.
Awesome, I love it. Very cool, man. Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on here, man. Any other questions before I hop on to?
Nope. You give me good stuff to chew on for now.
Very cool, Craig. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining us, and I'm going to be on, just like the normal rotation, from here on out.
Okay.
Cool, man. All right, so I think that Robert hopped on next. Robert, how are you, my friend?
Good. Actually, I'm glad you brought the unique mechanism. That was something that I would chase you, and when those days when you do blabs with one and only Lou. And to me, that unique mechanism discussion was always of intellectual kind of stimulation, so to speak. But since you brought this topic in, let's talk about this a little bit more. Like where I'm coming from in terms of the history of our son and Gabriela, and also I posted that link to your with the website on staging server.
Yep. And
I understand that unique mechanism comes from it kind of causes to. I have a little diagram at one point when we're discussing that, so I pulled that out, and so the unique mechanism is kind of a metaphor of a big idea. And when I was trying to figure it out for myself what that is, so I kind of had a vague idea what my unique mechanism is in reference to the big idea. And then I know the unique selling proposition comes from the unique mechanism itself as the outcome, so to speak. However, if you would ask me specifically what my unique mechanism is in terms of the spa business, would be hard for me to even identify that, to be honest.
Well, I can tell you just from, did you not want me to share this page with the rest of the group?
Sure, go ahead. Sure,
Oh,
sure.
okay. All right. Hang on one second. So, so here we see for Hideaway Total Wellness, and we see a safe, little-known NTP theory rewires your brain to look years younger, pounds lighter, using the healing power of your mind and body. Now, for the terms, I'm sorry, for the purposes of what we're doing here on this page, what would be the unique mechanism in my mind would be this little-known NTP therapy. But from what I know, that there are other people though who are performing the NTP therapy. Correct?
So what we've done with it doesn't matter. I think it was Lawton that no, it was actually Lou in his brilliancy that he said, you know what, instead of like going with what, because Gabriela is incorporated the main therapy called BEST, and instead of us calling that and having the Google slap problem,
Mm-hmm.
he suggested to go, because I used to call this neuroplasticity.
Yep.
Therapy, but neuroplasticity, Lawton said, oh, so is this plastic surgery? I said, for crying out loud, it's not. It's something that, it was just hilarious. But that gave me an idea, and Lou said, let's call it NTP. So we end up calling this NTP as that unique mechanism, as a matter of fact, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say that you don't know what the unique mechanism is, I mean, in my eyes, it's staring me right in the face here with the NTP therapy. Would you not agree with that? Yes.
So that's what I figured. But what would be the big idea in that scenario then?
So, and I just want to go over a couple of things just to make sure everybody picked up on what you were saying. When you had mentioned the Google slap, what Todd calls the Google slap anyway, that's when if somebody saw and hear neuroplasticity, somebody could hit pause, or somebody could just, like I do, Command T, open a new tab, and then Google what is neuroplasticity, learn more about it on somebody else's page before I continue on with this. So that's the Google slap that you're talking about avoiding. But as far as the big idea goes, what we're looking at here, this is your headline, and the headline is going to be an expression of the big idea. So when you're asking me, what is the big idea here? The big idea is essentially, what we've been talking about how, your this therapy can do all these wonderful things. And just so everybody knows that Robert and his wife, when we had met for MFA Live, him and his wife did a demonstration for Lou and I, which was really compelling, just about what it is that how our brain actually functions and responds to certain things, and also shared with us that she treats all sorts of people, and including I think it was like a hockey player, like a professional hockey player as well, right, Robert?
Athletes, all kinds of people.
Yeah. So what is the big benefit? What is the big promise for them? If I were to say to you, just so everybody else, and you're kind of helping me remember as well, but, what is the big benefit for going through the neuroplasticity treatment? What is the big benefit?
So before I answer that, so Gabriela comes from a background, she's an esthetician. Okay. So our little boy got sick. We're looking for a solution to help him because his affliction is, there's no cure for it. And when the doctors tell you after open heart surgery that it's not your last surgery, you're going to have many of them and hopefully he will live, yada, yada, then you all of a sudden start becoming more open-minded. It's like, wow. So she found this and she started applying to her aesthetic, to her business, to her spa business. And she started seeing great results. So she did, if you would scroll down, you would see her practice these days is divided into three sections. One that deals with face, body, and mind, and and that's how people usually come because they know her as an esthetician. So many come with facial problems, body, and mind is the more so-called medical approach. And this goes under the umbrella of some of the affliction that people come that they have no other place to go to, because they went to doctors, they went here, went there, and they still suffer. And some of those afflictions are just horrible. And she cures them, by using that therapy that she learned that helped our boy. That again. So what's the outcome? They sometimes, it's hard to even believe. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like somebody tells them to come, they come. They don't believe it, but you don't have to believe it. It's not based on belief system or anything. And you end up being often helped on the first or within first few weeks. So what's the big benefit? Depends on the individual. Like sometimes it's, there was this woman that came with fear of little creatures, like dogs and stuff. So she would see a dog, she would jump on the car. She couldn't go anywhere. So, and she was a nurse. So this athlete that you've mentioned, he was Philadelphia Flyers, actually. He was a bit of a troublemaker there. So he wasn't a team player. He had some afflictions in his, so again, help him to become a different person, and the physical affliction that he had was gone, So it works on both ways, your psychological problems, so to speak, and physiological problems as well.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the big idea, right, and you had mentioned, like, what exactly is the big idea? And Todd, kind of talks a little bit about what the big idea needs to consist of, but certainly the unique mechanism is involved in that equation. But so for here, when I mean, you should be telling me what the big idea is, Robert. You should be telling me what this is. Like if we were just out to lunch, right, and I said, Robert, I'm having problems with something, right? You would then say, as a response to that, David, there's a little known technique that you can use that can actually rewire your brain to help you get through that, right? So that, and we talk about, I always suggest, and this is just from reading a bunch of copy books, is when we're talking about the big idea and how we approach a big idea, I typically ask the client to take 5 different conversations. 5 different conversations that they would normally have, be it, at out to lunch, out at church, whatever the case is, and you were to explain what it is that you do and why it's the the best thing in the world. So those 5 different conversations, you take a look at them as a whole, and then you start to really craft and begin to reveal what in fact is the big idea. And I think oftentimes, and I talked about this when we were at MFA Live, that when we're crafting the big idea and talking about, how to look at the big idea, it almost comes to a point where it just it clicks, like, really, what is the big idea? What is the big idea for my business? But the big idea, it's not just some, A plus B equals C, right? We have to look at everything we do as a whole in order to arrive at that big idea. Now, when you see, kind of slick language around the headline, that's just an expression of that big idea. That's not exactly, the big idea as a whole. It's just an expression. You're taking it to a level that we're causing the prospect to take action. Now, are you driving traffic to this page right here, Robert, or are you planning on driving traffic to this page?
Okay, so this is staging server that it's sitting here for 2 months now. And what I'm doing, I'm working with Infusionsoft to finish the couple of campaigns that they're building for me. And as a matter of fact, they're done, and my emails are done. Everything is done. I also have an agency that works on Google Ads for me. So all this should be done next week or so. And we're also switching a booking system that is combined with Infusionsoft, likely. So we're doing all these changes. So we're not driving anything. We're supposed, it's ready, but because of the Infusionsoft, we decided to release everything in the same time.
Sure.
So the reason why I even post the big idea towards you, because you know the story. So that's why I'm normally, because I don't have too many people I can even speak at that level with in terms of exchanging ideas. Because if I say to somebody big idea, they say, oh, big idea, what the hell is that? You know, like you know, $1 million idea. Like, no, it's whatever you present and bring to the market. So that's why I want to hear your input, because this way, I think I'm getting better at describing what my big idea is, in a sense.
Yeah, and I know you worked with Lou in detail, throughout the program, and you guys kind of crafted a lot of this messaging together. And I think that what you have here is really dead on. I mean, I can give you, just, some advice, I guess, as far as how to express the big idea. There's a number of different ways that we can present it. But the reality is just, like what Todd always says, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what anybody on the call thinks. What matters is what the numbers are. Once we start driving traffic, what do those numbers show? I think you've got a fair amount here in order to test, in order to see what's going on. There'd be a couple of tweaks that I would make to this page. And that's why I asked if you're driving traffic to this page here, because I can give you some advice in that direction as to just just kind of nitpicky stuff, but just things that I would certainly change if this were.
Go ahead.
So first off, just again, please don't. There's nothing scientific about this. This is just, from looking at thousands of pages every day. I see a lot of padding here in between the two. You have an eyebrow. Typically, the eyebrow is a little bit shorter than this, and the eyebrow is calling out a particular type of audience. Reduce the padding in between, and then I would also have right here an opt-in of some sort right underneath here. I don't see an opportunity to give you my information until I go way down below the fold down here. So you typically want to have more opportunities in a subtle way that that you're gonna ask me for my information. Does that make sense?
No, you know what? You're absolutely right. This will be changed. That little space here that you're pointing out. The reason why I have the opt-in below, even though I know it should be above the fold, I felt that because the way we describe on the website, so we go with the eyebrow, we go with the headline, and then I don't think it's enough for them to, I'm going to opt in. Oh, for sure. But maybe we're not, again, I'm just guessing, but maybe I'll just switch that around. And then we're gonna test it and see if we're both correct, because I also believe that should be higher. So I'm gonna change that at one point for sure.
Yeah, and this eyebrow that you have right here, this is a little bit lengthy, and it's starting to tell the story, and then there's kind of a disconnect between between this story that you have going on here and then this expression of the big idea in this headline. Mm-hmm. So do you know what I mean by that? By saying that there's a disconnect?
Yeah.
So in other words, here, so she goes into talking about her story and your son's heart condition. She discovered a revolutionary therapy, and then it goes into a safe little known NTP. Like the cadence of the language is a little bit off to go from one to the next, because we see the what is this called, ellipses here, whatever that is, to go into here. So there's just a little bit of a disconnect here. I would prefer to see on here that if you're suffering from blah, 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 then, a safe little known NTP therapy rewires your brain to, whatever, so it wouldn't, in my opinion, go into too much of this story here. And only because this doesn't close the loop of the story, and there's nothing here else to close the loop of the story. Do you follow?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would just, again, something to test. It's nitpicky stuff just from looking at, a number of pages. That's what I would probably change, and you know what, something to test, right? So just, put it against, something else in order to test it.
So my reasoning was this: since I have Gabriella's picture here, and I figured, so let's introduce her and get that segue through the headline by saying, I adopted this therapy, but I felt like there has to be a little bit more before we go into this weird, what the hell, I remember when I've learned about the therapy, to me it was total weirdness, and I figured, I have to kind of almost justify it. I felt when I was coming up with this reasoning here, I better come up with something that is Yeah, weird, but let's see. Okay, so there is a kid, yada yada, and so there is the and then because we're still in that spa environment, so it's not a clinic, it's not. It's anyway, but yeah, I take that into consideration what you just said. Maybe I'll have the story a little bit lower and get the attention-grabbing kind of eyebrow that is addressing the concern that go to that website for. Yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, I think there's no better testimonial than your wife. Just so everybody knows on the call, like Robert's wife literally looks exactly like that in person. Like that's not just like a photoshopped picture of her. She's a great testimonial for what it is that she does. And you know, I think that that's great that you have a picture of her up there. But again, I would just really focus on calling out your audience in that eyebrow. The eyebrow is usually very succinct. It doesn't, you know, open up like a story. It basically is a prelude to what you're about to read in that next headline.
You're right.
So if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, good point, Dave. Yes.
Hey, David.
I'm sorry?
It's Mike here.
Hey, Mike, what's up, buddy?
Things are good. I just, could I give some feedback?
I would love for you to, man. Hop on.
So this is more of a website than a funnel, correct?
It is. So when we're talking about like, and I think Robert's looking at putting this in front of like, you know, Google Ads, some other type of traffic that I think is going to be more content driven. So I think if like your next question is going to be that there, and maybe I'm wrong, but you know, that there's different directions for the prospect to go in. And I guess I could be wrong about that, Robert, but I think that limiting the directions that people can go, if that's what you're about to talk about, Mike, am I right in saying that?
You're a brilliant man.
So yeah, so I think that you know, it's more geared towards content. But what Mike is saying, Robert, obviously is just so you know, I don't know if it's making sense, but when we craft a funnel, giving the prospect a lot of different directions to go, you know, will definitely limit the number of conversions for you. But you know, again, if this is going in front of Google, then we do have to be more content driven.
Can you click on one of those windows below, or even the top, the mind body, or whatever? Yeah, one of those.
I'll click on awesome body because I want an awesome body, Robert.
Okay, so I crafted those because the ads, I think they're gonna end up actually I think we have 9 landing pages, 9 products, 9 landing pages that will be geared towards those 3 aspects of what Gabriela is doing, which is face, body, and mind. So in case of body, they're gonna land in here. But I built that website so there is some sort of, because often I find people more to kind of see what the hell is that? Like they want more proof, so to speak. So I created a little bit more content so they see, oh, so it's not just landing page hanging in the space and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing there is you're actually bringing them to a form of a sales page without asking for an opt-in first. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm clicking here, you're almost bringing me to a form of a sales page here. So is it a free consultation?
So this one, the consultation, it's not going to be free. Okay. So yeah, it's not going to be free, no. Yeah,
so it essentially is, you know, a sales page that you're bringing me to here, which I can tell you that, I mean, well, let me just read a little bit through it. Okay, so real quick, just some copy stuff, Robert. So I Want an Awesome Body, brand new body shaping and fat reduction program. Is the name of the program I Want an Awesome Body?
Actually, we don't have a name.
Huh?
We don't have a name, no.
No, it's okay if you don't have a name. I'm just asking you, is that the name of the program, I Want an Awesome Body?
So, no, it's not. It's just that little tag line here it's on the front. So I kind of bring this, so it's like there's a connection, sort of mental connection.
Do you read a lot, Robert?
Do I read a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
So I've been diving into this book here by Victor Schwab, How to Write a Good Advertisement.
Okay.
And one of the things that you're going to find in that book, if you read it, is so right here, I want an awesome body. So it's talking about I, me. And if you dive into that book, and also Todd talks about this in the coaching program, we want to be focused on you, right? So if you want an awesome body, right? So just, again, some quick copy stuff. We're going to be focusing on you as opposed to I. I'm not going to be focusing on me. I'm going to be focusing on you, right?
Great.
So again, this is an eyebrow essentially right here, calling out your audience if you want an awesome body, right? Or if having an awesome body is something that you've always dreamed about, right? If those are the things that you've often envisioned, you and your, focus on the prospect, not on you. And again, I know what you're saying here when it says, I want an awesome body. You're getting the prospect to say, I want an awesome body, but it's not using the word you in there. So specifically using the word you. So then again, nitpicky stuff, padding, I'm just kind of a stickler for that. New body contouring program for weight reduction using NTP therapy is now field study proven to fix saggy stomach, flabby arms, love handles, and cellulite dimples. New body contouring program. Okay. All right. Supported by more than 128 scientific studies resulting in time. So yeah, so really what you're doing here, Robert, is this is going into this is essentially a sales letter, right?
Yes.
And what you've now really done is you've gotten somebody to this page. They've clicked on here. They've avoided this, right? They've avoided what you want, which is your name and your email. They've avoided that. They've gone into, and they can tell right off the bat, because I'm going to click here. I'm going to find out there's a price behind this probably.
No, right now it's not connected yet.
Okay, but it will be, because you mentioned that there's going to be a price behind it. So I would
opt-in form, yes, but with the price we have, because I was against the price, but then I was convinced to have a price because she's charging right now $100 for a consultation regardless. So why wouldn't you? I said, well, I had my theories, but I think we're going to charge. So I think that's going to be...
I'm not saying don't charge. All I'm suggesting is that if you plan, and what is the fee going to be?
$100.
Okay. If you plan on getting somebody to click here and then ultimately get them to buying something with, what does Todd say? It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to get people to take action, right? It takes an extraordinary amount of effort to get people to do something, especially to make a purchase for $99. I think what you're going to find is that this, short amount of sales argumentation is not going to be sufficient for somebody to book a $99 consultation, unless you've got some killer sales copy on a different page behind here. But I think that before you even, it seems like you're kind of, circumventing the system here in that, you first want to go from an opt-in. You want to capture the information first, then to, talking a little bit about, why they need to book a consultation. Does that make sense?
Well, as I mentioned, the first page most likely that they're gonna see is going to be either their body, face, or mind sales page. And I agree with you. They are not lengthy enough. They're not maybe as. But I want to do something so it's done. So because as you know, I was perfecting this forever, and finally I thought I want to slash my wrists. So I figured, have something done. So this is the short version of my of what we try to do, and we're gonna build on that down the road. So first thing is to release that and have that perform or not, and then we'll take it from there. That's at least the plan for now.
Absolutely. Mike, do you see anything else that you want to point out for Robert?
Yeah, I'm with you on the padding. I'm big on the padding thing, so I agree with you 100% on that. And then just go to the next page that you did, like you did before, and watch what happens. Scroll down, yeah. And then where did that color come from?
The blue here, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, I agree with you. It doesn't really fit the feel of this page over here at all.
Yeah, that's a brand new color. So you don't want to just be introducing a new color like that. It makes me uneasy.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
So I would use the same the muted gray that you have behind your wife as the background there.
Mhm.
So scroll up, David.
Like this right here.
That would work, or even the lighter one, like just like that. Yeah, the darker area behind her.
Funny because I changed that to blue just 2 weeks ago because I thought I need some punch. But you're right. Like it was actually gray, you know.
Yeah, and then so David's talked about split testing before, and I think you think that more is better, but quite often more gives people, as soon as they see something they disagree with, then they're gone. So sometimes the more you give them, the more opportunities you give them to leave. So you want to build intrigue, you want them to find out more, and so you want to get their email quicker. And you've just given them too many opportunities to say, oh, nope, that's not right for me. 90% was, but no, this doesn't fit, so I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would try to do, especially since your wife is so beautiful and she's got such an amazing story, I would have her, that eyebrow you talked about, I would have her film a video up there telling her story and explaining, what services is offered. And then I would use that big text below as the, over where her head is, have that as the headline over there with an opt-in. And then if you have any testimonials for how that works, like 2 or 3 of those below, and people are going to opt in. Like once they hear her story and once they see what she looks like and how she did it, that's all I need to want to find out more. And I'm going to give you, that will have earned my email address from you.
Thank you. Like the video is in the making right now. We have a script done, and that's something that we seriously, because it's such an emotional, so we had one attempt, but she just couldn't do it because it was so emotional, so we had to postpone it, and I think we're going back to hopefully soon to redo that video. So we'll be doing that video, but I thank you because that's something that originally I wanted to do. And
Dude, let that emotion flow. If she is crying on the video, every tear is 10 opt-ins.
Is that a matter of rule there, Mike? Every tier is 10 opt-ins?
That's been scientifically proven. I've got a study from 2006 that shows that. Yeah, I'll find it and send it to you.
Very cool. Well, that's some great advice from Mike. Yeah, and Mike brings up a great point here for your testimonials. Definitely have pictures of the people as well. On there if you can get that.
Dave, can you actually click on Mind? Actually, Mind, because these testimonials are like placeholders. I use whatever. But if you go into Mind, there is one that that's Eddie or Edmund or Eddie, and that's the testimonial that I'm gonna produce more.
Good. Absolutely. Yep. I think that's great. Yeah, that's exactly what you. Yeah. So if those are just placeholders, then yeah, I get it. But yeah, that's the direction you want to go. But I could tell you since the last time we talked, Robert, that this is an exponential, an exponentially, greater amount of work that you must have been hard at work here, brother. You must have been at the grind getting this stuff done. It looks good, man.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to shut up now and maybe catch you on another round and talk about the coaching program later on. So because I'm continuously want to learn and I have other projects on the side besides my wife's, which is the most important, obviously. But I want to also maybe get some details later on when you talk to other folks, okay?
Yeah, and I would just say, if you got other projects, man, I mean, you have other projects because you're taking on work as from an agency standpoint?
In a sense, because as you know, I'm in the radio and newspaper business. So I have clients that come to me and I sold them for 15 years already, radio and newspaper. I'm running things I think the whole concept of what you guys taught me, I want to kind of use for my purposes as another avenue to make money in terms of advising them to do, let's say, the internet marketing. Obviously, I'm still learning myself, but based on what I already know, I'd like to take advantage of that and help them in a sense to get some presence, but not in a form of that website, but have a funnel and go in that direction.
100%. And I think we actually talked about that on a blab, was that with your radio business, having that as a unique mechanism, because you have, I mean, what you now know, as far as marketing goes, I mean, is, and Todd, again, something that he beat into my mind, after I was kind of, training with him after 3 months, is that now more than like 95% of most marketers on planet Earth, at this point. So the point is that when I come to you, Robert, and I say, I want to run an ad, not only can you provide me with an ad, but you can now provide me with a mechanism to capture, results on the back end as well. And nobody offers that. I mean, I want to say nobody, but nobody that I've ever run into, that has even like, I remember from my previous business, we ran, print ads, and I wasn't a direct response marketer. And I went to the print advertising company, and they were running a circular in the, like we did home security systems, and we wanted to break into the medical alert business. So we did like a 55 and older community, and we ran one circular, and I literally, the phone didn't ring one time. Not one time did the phone ring, and I said, I'm done. And they said, well, you didn't give it enough time. I said, I would agree with you if the phone rang one time, but the phone didn't even ring one time. So, and I was tracking it. So how can I continue? I hear you that it takes time. I get that. But how can I believe that if the phone didn't ring not one time? And had they come back to me and said, well, let's just talk about your ad. Your ad isn't maximized for direct response marketing. I would have said, what do you mean? Well, let me tell you what that means. So the point is, those guys that maybe come to you and say, I ran, a spot on your radio and I didn't get any results. And you can say, well, here's why you didn't get any results. And let me show you why. And I can teach you how to get some results, as opposed to, just running an ad and hoping that it converts. So I think that's very unique that you have that opportunity to offer that.
Oh, I really appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I had a couple of, one of clients that made a killing just by, I advised him to, because he was advertising syndicated mortgages, whatever, like it's a product, let's say. And 3 months, he wanted his way, like everybody else, no results. Then I gave him a few ideas, and he made so much money, so he extended his contract. So absolutely, I want to get, so I appreciate what you guys taught me, and I want to, get my kind of spiel going and get more versed in that understanding, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally, man. Well, thanks for hopping on. Well, I'll catch you back at the end, and we'll get you set up for if you want to hop on some of the PCP calls. All right.
Perfect.
Awesome. Cool. So I don't recall who hopped on here. Oh, I've got a bunch of chats here. Oh, John, awesome. How you doing, buddy? I don't know if he's on there. But I think Mike, I think you hopped on. I think it was Craig, and then Robert. There's no specific order. I just want to be courteous to you guys, as you hop on. So, how's it going, man?
Going well.
How's the alpacas?
Alpacas are good. I've got one in my basement right now.
How many people on planet Earth right now can say they have an alpaca in their basement?
Probably none. Like if my farmer neighbors knew I had livestock in my house. I've got a picture of one. So I'm in my living room now. I have a picture of the alpaca because she was lonely. So I brought her up. I got a picture of her like right here watching TV over my head.
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm in New Jersey right now. But if I were in Florida, I would take you out into my living room where my wife literally has she has this coveted show chicken of hers, and that chicken is allowed to be inside of our house. And it's like the kids, literally like they're a stuffed animal. They walk around with this chicken. So anyway, I hope you guys don't, commit me to the loony bin after that. Although I feel like sometimes I need to be. But so talk to me, man. What's been going on? You've been landing clients? You've been landing big deals? What's going on, dude?
Yes, been landing clients, and to the unique mechanism. What I'm finding now is I'm getting other. So for those of you who don't know, I'm in Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels world, and I'm one of his lead funnel builders. But what my unique mechanism is in that world, and I don't know if it's true for the generic world on the whole, but there's a lot of people who can build funnels, but they can't create conversions because they don't have what I've been learning with, like, I've been so, like, seriously, all day I've been waiting for the 6 o'clock. Like, I'm so excited, especially because it was you, David, because I learned so much in the past course. Like, it's crazy. So I've got a new business partner now. He's awesome, David Asarno, because I have trouble asking for money. I have trouble, accepting my value. And so by partnering with him, I'm able to create the sale. And then when they ask about pricing, I'm like, well, my business manager takes care of that. And so he generally charges 4 times as much as I do, and then we split it. And so I end up making twice as much. He already has a team. So he already has a team. So his team actually builds most of the funnel. So I just have to go in and tweak things and fix things. And then he and I work together on the strategy. He's pretty good at strategy too, but he's just been learning a lot from me because of the, like, just the unique mechanism, the big idea, the level of awareness. And there was one more other big thing that I pretty much talk about every day.
Marketplace sophistication.
Marketplace, yeah. I talk about those things every day. And so it's funny. So, so we landed a $10,000 contract earlier in the week. And I said, there's no rush on the money. I said, because it's just going to Todd Brown anyway. And Dave was like, quit paying for stuff. You don't need any more. Like, you're good enough. I'm like, dude, like, no. Like, the only reason I'm as good as I am is because I had 6 weeks. Like, do you know what I'm going to be like after a year from now? Anyway, like I said, I got 52 weeks to do. If I miss a week, call the hospital, because that's where I am.
Awesome, man. So what can we, anything we can talk about today with, I know you got a lot of stuff going on. You've got some clients, anything that we can talk about or help you with, or?
Maybe, like, so one of the big things that's happened is I've had 2 funnel builders come to me and ask if they can partner with me. And they've already got clients, but they're not getting any conversions. They're getting none. And so it's pretty cool. So they're going to do all the work. They're going to build all the funnel. And I'm just basically going to do what you do. Like with us now, I'm going to consult with them, and I'll help them with the big idea. I'll help them with their offer, help them with their client targeting. But I'm not going to be too much into the actual funnel construction anymore. I'll be more on the strategy side of things.
Gotcha.
So since the theme of this show is the unique mechanism, that is my unique mechanism. Is that, and I just talked to a client that I'm meeting with this afternoon, or after this call. She's done really well for herself, and she's a student of Robert Kiyosaki, so she's trying to teach all that stuff on how to leverage your income, and I think she's big on the real estate side of things. But anyway, she's just so happy because she asked us to build a funnel a week ago, and we haven't even started yet because I keep arguing with her because we don't know what her offer is. And she had top 10 reasons why you should take her offer. The first one, it's free. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, and that sounds to me like she might also have challenge asking for people for money, as well, right? If they're going to list that as your top 10 offer, right, or top 10 reason why to take the offer. And I think that's interesting because John actually said the same thing. He said that he chatted and he said that asking people for money is his biggest challenge, and I get that, it comes time to say, hey, here's how much this is going to cost. I mean, I don't know. You don't come from a sales background, obviously, at all, Mike, do you? No.
I'm a firefighter, paramedic.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're also not. You don't come from a funnel background, but you're a funnel builder. So,
yeah.
But from a sales perspective, I mean, if you were to just kind of look at, not just the dollars and cents of being in this program, but just the years of knowledge that it took for somebody like Todd to put together this program, and for you to have, been able to tap into it. This goes for everybody on the call, to be able to tap into that knowledge. I mean, that's literally invaluable. I mean, literally, it's invaluable because there's, 1,000,001 yahoos on the internet that are trying to, get their funnels to work or get their things to convert. So, what you guys have tapped into and what you have access to, that should be the easy part, right? That should be the easy part of saying, hey, check it out. This is, this is going to be a $10,000 project. This is a $20,000 project, whatever it is. That should be the easy part. But that's another topic for another day. We can actually talk about sales if you guys think it'll be valuable to you on the next time I'm on here. But as far as, the topic of discussion today, you mentioned that was your unique mechanism, Mike, that you were talking about how the two, I guess, funnel builder companies that brought you aboard, where you're going to be more of a consultative voice with regards to the messaging as opposed to the technical side. But what exactly does that mean as far as a unique mechanism? What does that mean for you?
Well, that's kind of separate. So if I'm building funnels, my unique mechanism is that we focus on conversions, whereas in the ClickFunnels world, everybody focuses on building a funnel. So what this lady said, like, she presented me with an offer, what her offer was, and it was crap. It was just worthless. Any other funnel builder would have just plugged that in as her offer. I'm like, what?
Right.
And so I sent her your pizza blog. I said, okay. I'm like, you got to send a good pizza to these people. And I told her, this is crap. What you're sending is crap. And you're trying to sell a high ticket offer, and you're throwing them a Domino's pizza to start. Like, it's not going to happen. Now, I seriously, I sent her your pizza blog.
That's funny. Well, I appreciate that. But, I guess what I want to zero in for you, right, is on your unique mechanism. When you're talking to a client, you say, listen, I focus on conversion. That's kind of nebulous in a way. But if you said, like, I use the conversion maximization technique or something like that, right, that nobody else is using, that's something that's, that, again, Todd talks about being, avoiding the Google slap, right? Wait a second, he uses the conversion maximization technique. Let me Google that. Wait, nobody else is offering the conversion maximization technique. Only Mike has the conversion maximization technique. That's going to cause them to say, wow, this is going to be different. This is going to be a whole different experience. So just, when we're talking about a unique mechanism, I just want to make sure that, look, I think that's something that you're right. Not too many people talk about. In fact, when I get on strategy sessions, inevitably the very first thing that people will end up saying to me is, I need to find out how do I get more traffic. And the reason is because we've been so ingrained to hear this whole buzz phrase of SEO, and we've been hearing all along about how we've got to get to the top of Google. We've got to figure out how to get seen. And that is really kind of why I think people feel that traffic is the number one thing that they have to go after. But you're right. Once you start explaining, and the way I explain it is this: I say, if I can get 100,000 people to your website and 2 people to give you their information, or I can get 10 people to your website and get 5 people to give you their information, which scenario is more attractive to you? It doesn't matter if you get 100,000 people to your website if you can't get any of them to convert. So I agree with you on the conversion piece of it. I would just say, from a unique mechanism standpoint, you might want to consider naming it.
Well, I came up, so my first business when I started this a few months ago was CastNet. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
So I've still got CastNet going, and then I went.
Okay. That's right.
I was at Optimized Marketing Solutions. Then you helped me come up with that whole CastNet thing. So CCAT stands for customer, A stands for awareness. It's like
Yes.
it's almost it's sort of a clone of Assist from Todd, right?
There you go.
But
I'm
different.
losing my mind. I'm getting a little old in my, but yes, I remember that now. So apologize about that. But
But
awesome.
now I've evolved further, and now I'm the marketing medic.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, from the marketing medic now, and we're just totally running with that sort of thing.
I remember you sent me the logo. It looks cool too, man. Awesome.
Yeah. And so I was at Funnel Hacking Live last week, and what we learned there is that we each have our own superpower. And what my superpower is, I think, is the ability to get leads, because all the leads. So anyway, so what I've done now is I'm going to be focusing on getting clients and then passing them off to David. And so we'll be a team that way. So my Marketing Medic podcast will be launching next week. I met a whole bunch of contacts at Funnel Hacking Live, so I can interview people. I've got some good connections in Todd Brown's camp now, so I can interview people there.
Awesome.
So I'm going to interview like one person a week, and then what I was thinking about doing is just doing a marketing message like 2 or 3 nights a week, and then 1 day a week I'll do I'll get somebody to show me their funnel, and we'll talk through their funnel and we'll fix it. So it'll be every night will be a little bit different.
Awesome, man.
That's what I'm gonna focus
Listen, man. We're lucky to have a front row seat, man, to your star shining, bro. So that's awesome, dude. That's great. You're doing great stuff, Mike. So appreciate you hopping on with us tonight, man.
I just have one comment for Craig. Is Craig still on?
Craig is still on. Yep.
You want to?
Yes, I am on.
So Craig, you asked about lead ads,
Yes.
and so you're getting a lot of opt-ins with that, and that's awesome. But one of the things that's different between a lead ad and a funnel, because a lead ad is like a really mini funnel, right?
Mini funnel, yeah.
But the thing is you don't get to present yourself in the lead ad. It's a lot quicker, but they don't get to know you as well. Usually in a funnel, you've got a video, you've got more content there. And so what David was talking about before, when people are opting in, they have pretty much zero trust in you at that point because of the lead ad, because they don't even know what you look like. They don't know your picture. You don't know your backstory. You don't know why they're doing. Whereas with the funnel, there's usually some of that in the landing page before they opt in. So I'm not saying don't do lead ads because you're getting opt-ins like crazy. That's great. But David's correct that you're going to even just, oh, by the way, I can tell you something. It's way too soon because you've got zero, with lead ads, you get zero trust. And that's why I don't usually use them. But with your conversions, I would not stop doing that, man. But just, yeah, be more cognizant of of your funnel after the lead ad.
Thank you so much. That makes sense.
Cool. All right, I'm just gonna sit back and learn and drink my
Awesome.
wine. Oh, and
Thanks,
Rob, I'm from Hamilton. I'm up near Ottawa now, though. So we're neighbors.
You mean Hamilton here in Ontario?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm in Mississauga.
Yeah. Well, nobody else knows what the GTA is. I saw that in your copy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
These American people, like.
Fellow Canadians. Awesome.
All right. Okay, I'm out.
At least you guys don't have, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and all that, that to deal with. So consider yourselves lucky.
That's entertainment for us, and I'm hopefully what's his name? Trump is gonna win. So I'm just hoping that Trump is going to win because for us it's entertainment,
Thanks. I'm glad we can be entertainment at your expense there, man. Cool. But all right, I'm gonna hop on to before I get to my buddy John. I'm gonna hop on with Peggy and Jeff. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing okay.
Awesome. So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, let me go ahead and follow up from last time that I talked to you. Did you ever talk to Lou and relay the message that we needed him to review that series of letters for us?
I believe I did, just because, again, I'm sorry, just refresh my memory there, Jeff.
Okay, I did a 31-day series of messages program that Lou wanted to look at before we sent out.
Yes.
And I'm sitting on it a month and a half now, and there's been no response from Lou.
Okay, I'll get on him again. Hang on 2 seconds. Let me just send him a message right now. And just so you know, and I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but Lou is, he's now the Black Book marketer. So he is kind of, it's still MFA, but it's like a different brand for MFA. Does everybody know that about Lou or no? Yeah. Okay. So Black Book marketer is essentially a completely separate brand, but it's still a brand underneath the MFA umbrella, if you will. So I'm going to message him for you.
Okay, yeah, because I just, like I said, I checked my notes from last time, and that was one of the things that we had talked about, and that was a loose end that I needed to follow up on.
Yeah, no, in fact, I remember I talked to Lou literally the next morning, so I will follow up again with him.
Okay. In terms of our business, surviveyourpartnersaffair.com, where we help couples recover from affairs. Because I know the last time I was with you, I was the only person here.
That's right, you were.
Okay. No, I'm just, in terms of new things to work on, I've got some projects going. I really don't have any questions. I was just sitting in and listening this evening.
Okay. Well, I will make sure to follow up with Lou, for you to have him overlook the stuff that we discussed. And if I need anything from you, Jeff, what is the best email address for you?
Jeff@restorethefamily.com.
Okay. I'll connect with you that way. Okay, great. Well, if you think of anything, Jeff, we'll connect back with you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. Now, last but not least, my buddy John. How are you, my friend?
What's happening? Hey, David, I don't have any major questions tonight, brother. I'm doing good.
I just wanted to hear your voice, man.
Yeah, I'm holding on over here. I just passed the 1 year mark in the business, the agency work. It's going good. This has just been a crazy month, so I'm trying to hang on to my seat here. But business is growing. It's good. The discussion tonight about the unique mechanism is one that's heavily on my brain. So I thought it was just perfect timing as I think through how I'm going to roll out my new website and the positioning of the unique mechanism. I guess I do. I guess let's open it up. Let's actually have a chat about the unique mechanism.
Awesome.
And within the business. So this last month is the first time that I've actually focused on Dryden Labs and how I'm going to start marketing. Dryden Labs is the agency. I'm really been focused heavily on how I'm going to start marketing it, because for the last year, I've been building my team, working on client work, right, building my portfolio. And now I really have a lot of pieces of work that I'm proud of and ready to kind of unleash and really start growing the agency. The problem I'm having with the unique mechanism right now is I see a lot of times when the unique mechanism is applied to one function, and I don't know how to apply the unique mechanism to my agency work because the agency work is so broad. And that is kind of giving me writer's block in a few ways, because I can apply my unique mechanism to the way I do web development. I can apply the unique mechanism to a sales funnel or to the whole ecosystem of a project. But then this whole discussion, it also challenges the way I think of my business model. It also challenges the way I think about who I'm targeting. It's just this like ongoing conversation in my head around the content and the unique mechanism and what it is I'm actually selling best. Does that sound, make sense?
I completely understand what you're saying. So because there's so many different individual product offerings that you do offer to your clients, that to have one broad unique mechanism to kind of blanket all of those, probably it'd be a challenge to try and think of one unique mechanism for that entire line or suite of products that you offer. Is that essentially it?
Yeah, that's right. Because one guy where I've done a basic WordPress site for, and then just drove some great traffic with AdWords. Well, he's killing it, right? But there's another customer where I just came in and did a really great e-commerce website, but they've gone off on their own and done other great things right within their own company that allow them to support the e-commerce site. So sometimes it's a little bit of everything that we do. And I also wonder if that means that I should get really specific about the one service that I think I offer that's the highest return, that I offer the best value, that I really do the best, right, work at. And that's, this is kind of how I've been going this is kind of the conversation that's just heavy on my mind right now. So the unique mechanism I can share, is adaptable DNA. So define, nurture, automate. And that's like, I'm really pumped about rolling that out. I kind of like it a lot. I just am struggling with how I want to present it on the website, because I've gone down this path of developing Dryden Labs. And I feel like to properly do adaptable DNA, I need to be like, hey, I'm John Nana. I've worked with all these companies over the years, and I finally figured out the process that allows me to achieve, I'm kind of spitballing here, but an effective launch that's beneficial to customers, blah, yada, yada, through whether it's web development or creating ads. I always use this process, and here's why. We always take time to define these things up front, and then I go into a whole spiel. I mean, I feel like I could even turn adaptable DNA into a book, right? Like a mini book. It could be very compelling, or at least this is how I'm thinking of it. And I'm getting lost in the unique mechanism. I feel like I have something with my unique mechanism, but I'm really lost in tying it back to all the things we really do and how I really present it. Because I could see myself talking on stage about adaptable DNA. I could see myself talking to customers about it and writing it in a book and really breaking this down. But I'm having a hard time putting it on my website as a service because there are many customers who are like, hey, John, just get me an e-commerce site, or hey, John, just do a really nice membership site, etc. Right?
Yep.
So what do you see the challenge I'm having?
Totally. Yeah. In fact, it's
Right.
interesting that you bring it up, because it's a similar challenge that we faced, right? Because there's a lot that we do because there's really three ways that we assist clients. The first is through do-it-yourself type of info products like the six-figure funnel formula. The second is through coaching like what you guys are on now. And the third is done-for-you services, where we will actually build a funnel for you, right? So when we talk about, or when we were talking about, what is our unique mechanism, and John, you heard when Todd and Robert as well, when Todd rolled out at MFA Live, the 5E architecting framework, right?
Yeah, of course. I love it.
Yeah. So when we talk about the 5E architecting framework, which, that does in fact tell the story about what it is. And it really kind of addresses, just about where everybody may be, like if say, for example, I've launched the funnel, and I in fact have great opt-ins, like in Craig's position. I've got great amount of opt-ins, but I've got no sales. Well, guess what? You fall into the evaluate stage of the 5E, right? Because we can kind of put that together and say, well, we've really got to evaluate what's going on here. So somebody might say, I've got nothing. I've got a great product. I just have no way to sell it. Well, guess what? We have to, we have to really explore the marketplace, and we have to engineer a funnel for you. So we can kind of fit people into that unique mechanism. Now, having said that, when we talk about the adaptable DNA, I think that what that means is that it doesn't matter what it is that you do, we can adapt and we can make it work, right? So, I mean, if we're talking about like adaptable, DNA, adaptable DNA as far as, web services, adaptable DNA as far as, sales letters, as far as funnels, there's all these things that we can adapt to. I would say that you don't necessarily have to have just one unique mechanism for the business. There could be several unique mechanisms for each, for each product line. So say, for example, I want an e-commerce site. Okay, well, with the e-commerce, we use the we use the pay technique, the PAY technique, which is whatever the case is. And so by the way, you want us to build a marketing funnel. Great. Well, we use the whatever system in order to build our funnel. So you don't necessarily have to have one unique mechanism for the entire business. You could have it per product line. But again, that unique mechanism is certainly going to be the one thing that causes that prospect to say, this is going to be different. But I think adaptable DNA, I think you can shape that, to where you can use that as, it's just gotta scream a benefit to me. An adaptable DNA doesn't scream a benefit to me. And I'd want to learn a little bit more about what that benefit is. Why is that a benefit to me?
And right. So I'm still working through a lot of the, argument, like the objection points and stuff. So maybe something like that. But I think to try to like answer it on this through this conversation, that like the benefit is in our approach in defining the problem. I'm really spitballing here, David.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I got you. And that's what I just want you to think about, though, right? Is because you want to be able to, when somebody says to you, John, and inevitably all of you are going to be asked this question. Why should I choose you over anybody else, right? And for me, I love it when people ask me that question because I'm prepared for it, right? I'm prepared for a response on that question. When I was with selling alarm systems, it was my favorite question. I loved it when people would say to me, listen, I've never heard of you guys. I've only heard of ADT. Why would I choose you? And if we're prepared for that, and at the time I didn't realize I was using a unique mechanism, as part of my response, but it wasn't so unique because other folks had access to what it was that we were doing with the technology. But anyway, my point is that you just get prepared when somebody says, John, why would I choose you? If you could just think in the context of that conversation, because that's what's going to be going on inside of the minds of people as they're evaluating you online, whether you realize it or not. But they're going to be saying, why should I choose you? And if you say for e-commerce, we're the only ones that use the PAY system that can get you maximum exposure, guarantee the highest amount of of transaction completions, whatever the case is, right? We're the only ones that use that system. That's going to raise the eyebrow and say, wait a second, things are going to be different this time because he uses the PAY system. Nobody else has that. This is going to be different, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily be, just, kind of a blanket unique mechanism for the business. It can be for each individual, product line that you offer. Right.
Well, and here, yeah, I like leading with it. Here's where one thing I'm just kind of struggling with is I want to build out the process for adaptable DNA and kind of build my business around it, because in my agency, this is what happens. I have people who want to come in for pieces of the work, but they never get to see or utilize the full benefit if they don't let me take over a lot of the work, if that makes sense. So if someone says, hey, let me come and build a website for you, but no, I don't want you to run my ads, I can do that on my own, they never see the result. They don't see the results. It's just not a one-for-one.
Right.
Or if they say, yeah, John, I want you to build the site, but I really am a DIY kind of guy. Well, the integrity of the site after maybe a WordPress update or after they try to update the site themselves, it just doesn't look and feel the same as it did upon the launch, right? So there's, and then there's other reasons for defining the process, because it also allows me to get them all into maintenance plans. That's the biggest internal challenge of my business, right? Like, I haven't defined maintenance plans, but I don't know if I've defined a process that allows me to, in the consumer's mind, build the benefit of the maintenance plan into the solution. Like, hey, never worry about backups of your site or WordPress updates or theme updates or, blah, so on and so forth, all the things we really do. And so in my business, and before on a lot of our calls, I've been talked about like launching the Primal Fitness product or my cousin's relationship counseling course. This is really going to be a new chapter in our calls, because these next series of calls over the coming months are going to be really focused on Dryden Labs, growing it, how we're marketing it, and kind of positioning discussions around this. So anyway.
How's Primal doing, by the way?
Dude, he's doing good. He's not focused on Ryan's doing great. I saw him in St. Louis a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're not like quote unquote partners like we were a while ago. That's fine. But I still support him. He's doing great. He's not focused on pushing the online sales of that as much as he could. He could be killing it, man.
Yeah, seriously.
he doesn't want to. He just he's kind of focused on a different niche right now. He really likes the one-on-one. But man, that Primal program, it's good. He's done good sales. Don't get me wrong. It just could be better, in my opinion. So,
Totally. Yeah. No,
great program too. He's a great trainer. He's a good trainer. So
I really thought you guys had something there working together. But I mean, it's interesting what you had just said though about if the client wants to have their fingers in some part of the project. In fact, for us, just to give, I don't know if this helps you or Mike out, but when people come to us and they say, hey, would you ever be interested in doing some sort of, royalty or profit share on this? If we don't have total control, meaning if we don't run the traffic and also provide from an agency standpoint and also provide the funnel build out, we won't have anything to do with it, just because we need to have kind of a holistic approach towards what it is that we can bring to the table. So if they say, yeah, I already have a traffic guy, and I'd like for you guys to build a funnel, would you be interested in some sort of royalty share or profit share? We just turn and walk away. So I don't know if that helps you, with anything, but
well, it's something I'm seeing a lot too, right? So I have 3 people in pursuit of. They've seen some of the work we've done for a few bigger brands,
mm-hmm.
The big supplement company we've talked about before, and things like that, and it's good. Okay, so some guys have seen some of the work we've done. It's really good. Not to toot my horn, but it's good. Now they've come to me and they're saying, hey, you were their guy. We want you to develop this. And of course, now I can charge way higher prices, which is great. Yeah. But now one guy said, John, that's great. I'll pay you $25K, but I want to give you 20% of my business to help support it. And I'm starting to think oh my gosh, what's happening here? Is my value starting to grow and people are really, or hey, David, I've had this is another challenge in my business. I'm so trusting, so excited to take on the work that sometimes in my negotiation it devalues. Imagine you call me and you're like, John, can you help me out? I'm like, yeah, I'm your guy. I can't wait. We're going to take on the world. So sometimes if they don't see my work previously, it sometimes makes me seem too eager. Does this make sense to take on the work? And then this whole price negotiation things, kind of to Mike's point, maybe Mike, I don't know if it's the same pain point, but maybe Mike said it sounded like he had brought someone in to help him with that sales pricing piece. So that's something that happens. But on these other deals where my work has been seen and established, then the price rate is higher, but I'm also these partnership deals. I did that with Ryan. These partnership deals, maybe that's not the right business model for me to go in. Maybe it should be hey, of course I want to partner with you, but why not just do the work, and why do we need to do the partnership deal is my point. Do you agree with that? Doesn't it kind of get messy, these partnership deals?
Well, yeah, and I can give you a little bit of insight on that as well, just because I had that conversation with Todd and, wanted to understand really what our appetite was for getting involved with folks like that. And, one of the things that we, stress is that if we're going to get involved in anything of that sort, the reason why we want to be able to control every piece of it is because we, not that we don't trust people, but the reality is that we don't want to be managing anybody's business. Let's just say, for example, there's a client that has, they want us to build a funnel that has a consultative sales, strategy session, whatever pitch at the end of it.
Sure.
And they have salespeople that suck, right? So, now do we really want to get in the business of managing their salespeople, explaining to them how to close, showing them the different, sales techniques that they need? We don't want to get into that business. We have no desire. So really for us, the greatest appetite for that type of stuff is going to be more of info products, just because we can evaluate the quality of the product, and we can also, to a certain degree, we can really monitor what the sales are, what the sales look like, and we don't, so I would stay away from anything that doesn't have some form of, metric-based management to where you can really identify the sales through a particular system. And if anything is outside of this, we had somebody, it was similar to Robert's business, who had approached us, and she was very much interested in having us, show her how to get, more clients walk through the door. Of her, it was like a, I don't know if it was, I don't call it massage therapy, but something similar to that.
Sure.
But anyway, the point is that, how are we going to track how many people actually come in the door? We have to rely on them so we have to rely on the girl, forgive me, but the girl getting paid $10 an hour at the front desk to make a check on the piece of paper.
Yep.
And we have no interest in that, no interest in monitoring that or whatever the case is. So I would just make sure that you could quantify the results through a system and a system that you trust before I would even ever consider going into a business, with some sort of, profit share or royalty share or anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, no, great points. And I appreciate that, those thoughts and discussion, because for now, for me, man, David, I'm just going to focus on Dryden Labs. And
Stay in your lane, dude. Stay in your lane. You're so good at what you do, John. Stay in your lane, dude. Seriously, I agree with you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And then just say, hey, I would love to be a partner. And if you want to throw me a bonus, I'll let you buy me a car one day,
Right. Exactly.
It's all good. So anyways, not that I'm that good. I got a long way to go, man. And dude, David, it's awesome to be on this call, man. You guys, you said something earlier about like, I've learned so much from you guys in the last year, man. I think it's been less than a year we've been working together. I've learned so much from you guys, man. It's incredible. Seriously.
Well, we love having you on here, man. And the dates for MFA Live again. Oh, also, just so you guys know, did I write it down? I think I did. Hang on 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds here. I thought I wrote it down. How do I tease you guys like that, right? We said it. Oh, May 4th. May 4th is going to be. You're going to get phone calls soon for the Mentor to a Million. The event, the Mentor to a Million event that you guys are all going to be part of. And it's going to be in West Palm. So if you want to mark your calendars now, May 4th is going to be the Mentor to a Million event.
Boom. I've got honeymoon week that week. I won't be able to make it, man. But it's all good. I'll catch you guys later this year.
Honeymoon week, meaning I thought you were married already.
I am. Well, our anniversary,
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Little anniversary week. So.
Dude, that stinks, man.
I know. I'll miss you guys this time, but it's okay. We'll party later this year.
All right, dude. Cool. So I hope you guys can check your calendars and see if the rest of you guys can make it out there. I know Mike is chomping at the bit. So hopefully we can get. Yeah, there you go. Is that a good day for you, dude?
I just checked. It's free. It's right before Mother's Day.
Awesome. Very cool. Let Carlos know as well if you wouldn't mind.
I will.
Of that date too. So awesome, guys. So before we hop off here, I know, Robert, we're going to talk. I owe you a conversation about PCP, and Jeff, I owe you a conversation with Lou, which I'm going to email him, and message him. So do I owe anybody else anything?
You don't owe me anything, but I put a link in the chat box, the YouTube thing. Okay. I did a training sales training call with Randall Grizzle. That's Russell's high ticket guy.
Oh, cool.
And so copy that down and watch that video. It's about 48 minutes long, but it's a really good video. He goes he does a 2-step close, but you'll still be able to modify it to suit your needs. It's really good.
Awesome. I remember when you told me about this, that you guys did this together, and that Russell wanted to turn this into a product, I think.
He did.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool, man. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Awesome. Cool.
Well,
Any other questions?
I learned from Funnel Hacking Live that I tested today. One of the things Russell said is you always want to start with traffic. Like, where's your traffic? What do they want? Because he gets all these people that come to him with ideas, and it's like, okay, where are these people? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And so if you don't have a client base, then what's the point of having traffic? And so, David, I told you about my, I have a client who teaches how to sell on Amazon. How to sell products on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Australia,
this is,
right? They're in Australia, those guys?
Yeah, they're on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And the frustrating thing is with them is the same thing you were talking about. Is this is the first time I've only done traffic, so I have no control over the funnel. And this is what you were talking about before. Like they keep saying, "Oh, we need more traffic. We need more traffic," because their funnel's not converting. And my traffic is targeted. It's good traffic. I'm not saying, you know, click here for free beer or anything, and people are going to sales. Like free Amazon training, learn how to, you know, produce a reliable income working with the world's second largest retailer. Okay, so it's very specific. There's no tricks, but they're going and they're just not, because they won't buy into the whole level of sophistication thing. They're just going right to the Amazon sale. They're not going to problem awareness first. I keep talking to them about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finally found a hook, and it's just for the Australian audience that it's working. But my hook there is how to make US dollars while you're living in Australia, because people want to do that, right? Because
cool, man. That's good. Yeah.
We're making $1.30, $1.40, and so that's converting well. But we're getting we're paying, what are we paying? Like it's a lot. It's a lot. What were we paying? Like $1.40 per web click, something like that. So it's pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then just this morning, I started a campaign, and I'm targeting expats that are around the world. So I did 4 ads. I'm targeting Costa Rica, Indonesia, and New Zealand. So expats that are there, and the whole concept is, you know, make money while you're on vacation. You can vacation year round if you have this online business.
Smart. Yeah, smart.
I'm getting clicks now, web clicks now from 2 cents in Costa Rica, 4 cents in Indonesia, and 16 cents in New Zealand right now.
Smart.
So what's missing though is I don't have control over the page, and they're not listening to me. I think they will now, because I send them a pretty powerful emails. Like, we're getting the average click is 4 cents. Like, we've got to change our landing page now, because there's too much of a disconnect. Because he's just jumping right into why Amazon's the best thing in the world, where he has to explain to people from the problem side, you know, you don't want this vacation to end. There's different ways you can make that happen, but Amazon's the best way. So anyway, just start with traffic, and I think that can help a lot. That's it. I'm going to work on that moving forward.
Yeah, a couple of things that you said there. I mean, you know, Todd always talks about, you know, I hate to say it as the level of importance, but you know, it goes from list to offer to copy. And Todd says list, idea, offer, copy, meaning that, you know, the list, the people who if you are trying to sell ninja swords to a bunch of people who are interested in mattresses, doesn't matter how good the offer is or how good the copy is, just doesn't matter. So list, offer, copy, and you're right, and that's why, you know, when Russell says is, you know, and I forget who it was. Maybe one of you guys might be able to correct me or help me out with it. But you know, there was somebody who said that you know, I look for a large, hungry mob flush with cash, and that's essentially what you're looking for. You know, when it goes when you're talking about going into a particular market, a large hungry group. A large hungry mob of people flush with cash. And, you know, if you could say that, like, for example, I had a client come to me, she was a prospect. She never ended up being a client. And I'm sorry it's getting so dark here, guys. I apologize. I don't have a light in this room. But
I'm all here too.
So I had a client that came to me, and she said, you know, I'm an attorney, and I came out with a product. It's for the market of people who want to the artist who has street art, and they want to be able to protect that art, right? So her audience is a group of starving artists. So when we say, all right, you know, a large, you know, group, a large mob of people flush with cash, that's really where you want to go to. Looking at the starving artist market is probably not the best place to go. So she was having obviously problems with, you know, getting conversions on her sales, and it's no mystery why, because, you know, again, you know, these folks are, you know, scraping, you know, together change in order to get some chicken nuggets. But yeah, so
Russell's more succinct in his message. Russell says, "Don't sell to broke people."
There you go. There you go. That's the best way to put it. That's the best way to put it. I'm just gonna do that there. So I got light back in my room. I'm a ventriloquist now. So So any questions before we hop off, guys?
Great call, David. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for hopping on. Look forward to talking to you again. I hope you guys, other than John, I mean, I wish John, listen, you could have your anniversary in West Palm, bro. What do you think about that, John?
I wish, brother. We're booked, man. We're booked. We're gonna go do some wine tasting up north. So,
awesome. That's awesome, dude. Well, enjoy it, man. I'm sorry I don't get to see you, but you know, MFA Live is going to be coming up in October, so hopefully you can make that. But very cool. Thanks for hopping on here, dude. Any questions before we hop off, other than Robert? I know we're going to talk about PCV. Nope. Awesome. Well, thank you guys once again, and I don't know who is next week for you guys, but either way, I will see you in 4 weeks.
I'll be there.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
See you, David. See you, everyone.
See you guys. Robert, my friend.
So before you tell me about the that coaching program. So what's happening on the May 4th again, Dave?
Yeah. So being a part of Mentor to a Million, you have access to a one deep dive event, which is the Mentor to a Million deep dive event. So yeah, and that was just mentioned today. So maybe I was a little bit premature in announcing that date, but I'm like, we have to. There was one thing we had to do, and we had to just confirm with the Hyatt that we could get a room block. But so that's looking like the date, as long as we can get a room block.
So how long? So is it a 1-day event today?
One full day event. Yep.
1-day event. Okay.
Yep.
And what kind of event would that be?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Todd working with everybody in MTAM to talk to them about their businesses and just focus on for the day, handling specific questions, but also Todd's going to present some of the stuff that that we are doing and what you can look forward to seeing coming from us, but also mainly how we can leverage it and assist you guys as well.
Speaking of,
I don't want to miss this one, brother.
I know, man. Maybe we can pipe you in or something like that. Just be like, honey, listen, I just got to run out to the restaurant for the day.
I know, man. May 4th for sure. So hey, sorry, Robert. Sorry, buddy. I missed. Is it for sure May 4th?
It's like 90% May 4th. Like I mentioned, the only thing that Kat had to do was just confirm, I think, the Hyatt, for that block of rooms. But yeah, it's looking like it's pretty much May 4th is pretty much solid.
Fuck. All right.
You know what? I'll call Todd and I'll say, listen, John can't make it. We need to change the date.
Yeah, right, dude. No way. Come on. Never.
So Dave, speaking about events, so how was the event in March?
The event in March. Oh, the
expensive one.
Yeah, so it's Tennessee you're talking about?
I guess so, in the villa and this and that.
It was really good, man. It was a good time, for because working remotely, it's interesting, man. Because you talk to people every single day, you work with them every day, and being able to kind of see everybody's families was really kind of good. Just to kind of get to meet everybody. We actually changed it, Robert. I don't know if you know this or not, but we changed it from being an opportunity for outside clients to come in with us. Todd had just said, you know what, I really want to focus on our team and make sure that we have the team to bond, and that's what we did. We focused more on our MFA team on that event.
Okay, so well, anyway, I don't want to say nothing. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm glad this worked out that way. And so once again, you've mentioned that. Tell me more about that coach program. Because I know there was some changes in that. Todd was saying that there will be some change that going to be implemented with regards to that coaching programs.
So let me ask you this: when did you talk to Todd about that?
Oh, a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So nothing has changed as of yet. The only thing that's changed is that Teddy has taken over as the coach for the program right now.
Okay.
But as far as I mean, look, the reality is that, things change, technology changes. One of the things we teach in partnership coaching program is that you want to first you want to test the message of your opt-in. And because of that, you want to eliminate any pictures, any colors, anything like that. You just want to test the message for the opt-in. Now, the reality is that, in the past, Facebook has been a great opportunity for traffic. But if you go directly from an ad in Facebook to an opt-in page that looks like that, Facebook's probably not going to be too happy about it nowadays. They've changed, right? So because of that, there are certain parts of the program that we have to tweak and adapt and change and make better. And that's one of them. So in other words, what Todd was talking about was just making sure that the partnership coaching program is really up to date. And it also follows our 5E architecting framework, because if it's not really kind of aligned with our 5E, then it doesn't really work for our strategy going forward. We really want to bring and tie everything back to the 5E funnel architecting framework, because the 5E framework really identifies anybody and at any point in their marketing. Doesn't matter if you have a funnel in place or not. The 5E, we can very quickly zero in on somebody if they say, you know what, I have a product or I have a service and I have no idea how to get it in front of as many people as possible. Then we need to explore the marketplace, and we need to, and we also need to engineer a funnel for you. If somebody says, I have a funnel, it's just not converting well for me, then we need to examine what's going on. So the point is that, everything that we're going to be doing, everything that you're going to see come out of our camp moving forward is going to always tie back to that 5E architecting framework, including our partnership coaching program, which right now it doesn't really talk in that direction. So the partnership coaching program is going to get a makeover. All of our products are going to get a 5E makeover, and anything moving forward is going to tie back to 5E.
Yeah, like my problem was the reason why I've addressed that, and he suggest for me to do that is because, there's somebody else every week, and if I want to talk to, let's say, about copy, so it takes sometimes 4 weeks for me to wait for Lawton, and then he encourages me, well, email me something, in between time. So then he never responds. So I go ballistic. And, so I said, you know what, why don't you join that? So this way, if you have, because when I'm working at something, I just want things to be done. And so he suggested this as solutions, so to help me out kind of to get things.
Yeah, so where are you at right now, Robert? Where are you at, and what do you need the most assistance with?
You know what? Basically, in 2 weeks, or this week, probably it's gonna take 2 weeks. The Infusionsoft people will finish my campaign. So they done. The emails and everything has to be plugged in, so the funnel will be ready. So until now, I needed help with everything because I was just frustrated with myself, with copywriters, with I want it to be perfect. And so the next step will be to optimize. I want to be in Craig's shoes. So there's something in place and I could be frustrated about something else, So that's my goal right now next. So, but in the meantime, I have questions, and sometimes I feel like who should I ask? So sometimes trying to reach out to Lou, but he's a superstar right now. Well, I'm just making joke. I love the guy. So
no, I understand. So
he's busy with other stuff, and so I'm just sitting and waiting, and this way I could be busy and attacking somebody else.
Sure. So what I mean, just what you're asking is, just so I understand, that you have just general questions that'll pop up that you need answers to.
So whatever the coaching program has in place. So if I'm aware of it, I could. And I see if that fits into what's on the table right now, what I'm working on. So I just want to have access to more help, so to speak. And it's it's hard to say. Like today, I had really Infusionsoft type of questions. There are the questions that are really specific to that software and to that sequences and to that, But before it was copy before. And and then big idea. And when you were in Bluff, I was always jumping in and just going about asking about the unique selling proposition, yada yada, to get my head around that concept, etc. So I just felt it's not enough for me to learn, so to speak. So that availability, if I take advantage of it or not, it's a different story. But sometimes Tuesdays I have my church meeting on Tuesday actually. So sometimes just Tuesday I have to do it. So
I understand.
I have to make a choice,
Yeah, I completely understand. So really, it's just more access to assistance and
Yes.
on kind of on a general scale, not really on a like a specific, not like specific to any one piece of the funnel, but just more on a general type of scale. And yeah, let me just because I just want to ask Todd one thing about that, and then can and I'm sorry that you reached out to me and I didn't see that. It's possible is that so I have two email addresses. I have David at Marketing Funnel Automation and mfacoach.dave, and I don't really check the mfacoach.dave at Gmail a whole lot anymore. So that could have been it. But I just want to talk to Todd about one thing. And then can I get back to you? Because I think there might be a even better solution for you that I just want to talk to him about first, and then I can maybe give you a shout back. Is that okay?
Absolutely, because at that time he specifically mentioned you. I said, "Oh, this is great." So that was that, and it was like at least 2 months ago, at least.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, man. Let me reach out to him and then get back to you. I can I'll put it on my to-do list. If I showed you my to-do list, you wouldn't believe it. But I'm going to put you at the top, though, because I'm going to just make sure I reach out for you, buddy.
In terms of events, what are you guys planning? So there is, you've mentioned that in October you guys going to have the same around the same time, I guess, or same month at least. That IPM get together, I guess. Is there anything else in between you planning?
Is there anything else from the deep dive event through MFA Live?
Yeah.
Nothing live, that's for sure. I mean, we have product rollouts, and John, I got your message there, so I can we can talk as well. But and that it goes up to Craig as well. I just want to. I think there might be a different option, if you guys want some additional assistance that I might be able to figure out. So just give me a little bit of time on that. There's nothing planned as far as a live event. There's just product rollouts that we have coming out. That's all, stuff that you'll see right now. I think everybody is just all hands on deck for Conversion Fly. So that's really what we're focusing on right now. But
it's not released yet, that Conversion Fly software. It's not released.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. And the release is coming up still. The date hasn't changed for the release. I don't have it on my mark here. I know we pushed it back, but yeah. So yeah, the Conversion Fly, is really where a lot of the effort is going right now. But then after that, you're going to see some nice product rollouts that we have after that.
Okay, because I didn't even sign up for that because since I'm not ready, I said like another headache. I'm gonna wait for. I'm gonna wait for that. So excellent. Okay, thank you so much. I'm just gonna wait for your email and I'll let you go.
Awesome.
So.
No worries. I mean, I'm here for you guys. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, John. Craig, do you have a question? I saw you unmuted yourself there.
Nope, was just going to say goodbye. I was just kind of listening while doing some stuff. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we will talk again in 4 weeks.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.